If you're watching this video, then I'm gonna assume that you've experienced or heard of some form of online harassment in your life. It's become a normalized part of our everyday lives because of our existence in this age of information. For a formal definition of online harassment, it's the use of digital technologies to harass, threaten, and/or attack a person or community. In other words, this term literally encompasses a majority of the interaction that happens on the internet. Another term used by many is trolling. However, there really isn't a usable definition of trolling. It's been used to apply to so many different situations that its meaning has virtually been lost. Today, the term trolling has been turned into a scapegoat to excuse inexcusable behavior. Aggressors frame toxic, abusive, and violent behavior as just trolling to make the internet seem like just a game. "I'm just trolling," they'll say, after telling you to kill yourself. An especially glaring problem within the issue of online harassment is online harassment of women, or really of any minority. Let's look at a few different types of online harassment that are more targeted towards women. NCII stands for non-consensual dissemination of intimate images, or more widely known as revenge porn. The issue with this term is that revenge implies that this is done as a reaction to a perceived evil, and that it may be justifiable. Porn implies that the content was made consensually and was intended for mass consumption, which is usually never the case. Deepfake pornography is when the faces of women are digitally applied onto existing pornography without their consent. As of 2021, there are more than 668,000 women whose faces are unwittingly being used for deepfake porn. Women are also disproportionately affected by stalkers, especially by male perpetrators. There's both physical stalking and online stalking. Online stalking is when someone uses the internet to contact you, post about you, and/or monitor you. A few of the most prominent examples of online harassment to women occur to politically active women or women with high positions in male-dominated industries. These women with high visibility are seen as a challenge to traditional roles and values. So, the practice of gendered online harassment is applied. This is defined as the combination of tactics exercised through digital technologies to harass, intimidate, silence, or cause women distress. The goal of these harassers is to remove women from their platforms, and it works. In interviews done with politically active women, 19 of the 25 said that their activism was directly disrupted by harassment, and many felt the need to take psychological and physical health breaks from their work. And according to the International Women's Media Foundation, 64% of women in journalism and media have reported threats or harassment online, and nearly 30% contemplated leaving their jobs. But we're guaranteed free speech, you may argue. Sure, trying to moderate abusive content can be a debate about free speech. But this is a debate about free speech for the few harassers or free speech for those whose voices are already not spoken for in America. In telling women that if they can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. This is further silencing voices that are needed to diversify the internet. Not only are these voices forced out, but when women watch other women be targeted at such a great magnitude for simply existing and doing their jobs, they're discouraged from even trying to enter that space. So while you may argue that freedom of speech allows for freedom to harass, at the same time you are taking away the freedom of speech of minorities and creating a space that gets more and more hostile with each and every day. You may also say, but men are harassed too. Of course that's true. As with most things in life, there are no absolutes. But think about the different ways men and women are harassed on the internet. Men are harassed in a way to shame and embarrass them, while when women are harassed, they are additionally sexualized, receive more violence, and it continues over a longer period of time. In one study done with fake online accounts with feminine and masculine usernames, the feminine users received on average 100 sexually explicit or threatening messages a day, while the masculine ones only received 3.7 messages. So yes, if you're asking me, I do believe that the type of harassment that women face online is more severe and needs to be addressed on its own. So what can be done about this problem then? Content moderation is the first defense system put in place by platforms, but is easily circumvented. AI software cannot even detect meaning in children's books, let alone nuanced, sophisticated, and coded language used on the internet. We have to start from the ground up to find a solution. Start with education, continue with enforcing platform policies, then move to legal reform and getting law enforcement more involved. One approach would be reauthorizing the Violence Against Women's Act with more provisions for online harassment. We need to also unlearn the victim-blaming mentality that our individualistic society has ingrained in us. Sometimes, you don't need to hear both sides when a woman's life is in immediate danger. And telling women to not feed the trolls won't do anything. It's unfair to tell someone not to react, and it really does nothing against the psychological hurt that happens regardless.